Good evening, everyone. We are down to the wire now. There's exactly 1 hour left to cast your ballot in Nashville's mayoral election.
Mayor David Briley is filling in for now, but voters are now picking former Mayor Megan Barry's official replacement. We have team coverage tonight. Let's start with News Channel 5's Kimberly Davis, who's live at a Bordeaux voting location. Kimberly, are you seeing a lot of folks out there?
Vicki, unfortunately, we are not seeing many people out here today. I just got off of the phone with the Election Commission, and they tell us about 74% of the people who voted on May 1st actually came out for the mayoral election. So that's about 80 to 85,000 people who voted in this election. But one thing is for sure, those who did come out and vote wanted to make sure that their voice was heard.
Decisions that affect you, your family, your school, those decisions are made locally.
It's your vote and it matters. But unfortunately, not as many people are having their voices heard in this mayoral election. Davidson County Administrator of Elections, Jeff Roberts.
We've had probably about 70% of what we saw on Election Day for May 1. And that mirrors what we experienced for early voting.
In the May 1st election, 120,000 people voted, but only about 75,000 people are expected to vote in the mayoral election. But for people like the McCutcheon family, they made sure to have a say in who will be the next mayor of Nashville.
In every election, when we turn out, our candidates win. When we don't turn out, then we sit around and complain about what they're doing to us. Nobody's doing anything to you if you don't vote. You did it to yourself.
If one of the 13 candidates does not get 50% of the vote plus one, there will be a runoff election in June between the top two candidates who received the most votes. But even though the turnout wasn't great, young voters are hoping to be that plus one.
Everybody has to feel like they're that plus one. So if you don't turn out and vote, your plus one vote could be going towards somebody else.
There is still some time to come out and vote. You have a little under an hour, 59 minutes to come out and cast your ballot. The polls close at 7 o'clock tonight. For now, we are live in Bordeaux. I'm Kimberly Davis, News Channel 5.
Kimberly, thanks. This hotly contested race has Mayor David Briley trying to hold on to a position he's only held for a few months. We continue our team coverage now with News Channel 5's Chris Conti, who is with the Briley campaign for us tonight. Chris.
Rory, this is going to be a critical night for Mayor Briley. We say that because political analysts do not believe that it is likely, given this crowded field, that any one of these candidates is going to be able to secure 50 plus 1% of the vote. And it has been a difficult few weeks for the mayor leading up to this election. There was, of course, the failed transit vote a few weeks ago. And of course, he had to announce just 2 weeks ago that the city is facing a massive budget shortfall. Still, though, he is pushing forward. Mayor Briley actually voted a few weeks ago when early voting started. We expect him to be here to address a few dozen of his supporters at Cabana in just a little while from now. For now, though, we are live in Hillsborough Village. Chris Conti, News Channel 5.
Thanks, Chris. But the current incumbent faces some tough challengers. News Channel 5's Jason Lamb has more tonight from Carol Swain's viewing party. And Jason, she's been making some big waves in this race.
She has, and the question for Carol Swain tonight will be how much of the conservative voice, the conservative vote in Nashville, will she be able to galvanize under her name in a sea of other candidates here today? Now, talking to the campaign today, they say they feel confident for two reasons. Number one, the relatively low voter turnout expected, as Kimberly was mentioning in her report earlier. They say that that bodes well for Carol Swain. Number two, the relatively high number of people voting early in some sections of town that tend to vote more conservative, like Belmead and Brentwood and Green Hills. Now, all of that together, will that translate into success for Carol Swain? We will have to wait and see about that tonight. But she herself told me she thinks it'll be a miracle if she actually runs away with this election with 50% plus one tonight. She is counting on heading into a runoff with Mayor David Briley 5 weeks from now, entering what News Channel 5's political analyst calls a Nashville political Groundhog Day. 5 more weeks of campaigning here in Nashville. We'll have updates throughout the evening. For now, live in Nashville, Jason Lamb, News Channel 5.
Jason, thanks. After the polls close, tune in to News Channel 5 Plus at 7 for the fastest and most accurate results. We'll continue the conversation on our Facebook page at 8 and have a complete wrap-up on News Channel 5 at 10.